Good morning again, guys. So literally, as soon as I ended my last video, literally as soon as I hit end, um, quit whining. Sorry, we've got people over at the house, and the dogs will not shut up, so they're in here in my room because they don't listen. But anyways, as soon as I ended my video and I hit end, the tire and auto place called me, and I was like, oh, they're probably just going to call and tell me, hey, we're still dealing with it, we'll have it ready sometime next week. And he was like, okay, your car's ready. I was like, what? So so basically what happened is when the mechanic was doing my tie rods, he got a little heavy with the tools. Boom, something happened, and when he did that, he cracked the left side of my rack and pinion. Well, where he cracked it, he made it leak. And so that's why they're like, this wasn't intentional. I'm like, hey, I get it, da 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 da. And so I kind of was waiting for them to come at me, to figure out, okay, hey, you pay this, and then I'm going to counter offer. Now, here's the thing. I get that they messed it up, that it was an accident. So technically, should I really be paying for any of it? No, I shouldn't. But let's be real. The car has almost 200,000 miles on it. It's a 2012. And I guarantee you, the rack and pinion, it was probably a little old and crusty and dusty to begin with. I mean, almost 200,000 miles. What used to be, like, let's say, a rubber boot on your CV joint, okay? When your car's brand new, that rubber's going to be great. When your car's got 200,000 miles on it, obviously the rubber's going to be dry, it's going to be brittle, it's going to break a lot easier, okay? Same thing with the tie rod. Now, if this would have been, a 2-year-old car with 15,000 miles on it and they would have gone, boom, oops, it probably wouldn't have done anything. But we're dealing with a, 8-year-old car with 186,000 miles on it. So stuff is going to crack and break more easy. Um, if this would have been a newer car with low mileage, I would have been like, no way in high Hades. But I have to be realistic. And not only that, but your rack and pinion being a big part of your suspension and your steering, those are expensive. I mean, very expensive. Like I said, I mean, I called around and I got quotes on a low end 1,200, high end 2 grand, and kind of about the middle, about 1,500 is where what we were looking at. Honestly, I don't know that my car is even blue booked at $2,000, even though it's beautiful. It's well maintained. Was primarily garage kept until the last couple of years. I baby that car. Um, so it's like, okay, granted, I get it. And I'm just sitting here thinking in my mind, I know when I pick it up, it is going to be so flippin' dirty. I know that it's dirty every time. It drives me crazy. I tell them, I don't know what y'all's deal is with my car, but stop getting it dirty inside. But anyways, so that's why I kind of all along the back of my head was thinking, okay, I'll pay for the parts if they want to cover the labor. They're a shop; they can eat the labor. That's on them. Even if I, like I said, had to pay $200, $300, $400 for the part, I'm getting a $2,000 rack and pinion for $200, $300, which should never need to be replaced again. I mean, like, I will die before that rack and pinion needs to be replaced unless I like crash the car or something. So he ends up calling me, and of course, now this is the full total. But I said I'm not going to pay that. But basically, we're looking at 220 for the parts, 270 for the labor, with 490. And he was like, originally he was like, you can pay the shop out, you can pay a little here, a little there, da 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 da. And I said, no, hang on now. I said, if I do that, then that basically means I'm paying for 100% of this, right? And he was like, oh, yeah. And I said, no, that's not fair. I'm not paying for oops from your mechanic. Your mechanic can pay he can work for free and cover that 270. I didn't cause my rack and pinion to break, to leak. I brought my car to you guys with a non-cracked, non-leaking rack and pinion, and you tried to give it back to me with a cracked, leaking rack and pinion. Like, no, that's not going to fly with me. But on the same token, like I said, I am willing to like pay for the parts because in this case, $220 is getting me a brand new, which is my end. So $220 out of my pocket is getting me a brand new $2,000 rack and pinion. Um, it's worth $220 for me to be able to drive that car and know, hey, the suspension is dang near brand new. I mean, so I haven't done the CV joints, but the tie rods, the inner, the outer, now the rack and pinion. That's like 85% of my suspension and my steering. So that's all new. And so I said, okay, I asked the mechanic, Matt, did you personally take it out and drive it so that it's aligned? And when I turn to the left, it's not pop and the car's jumping. And he said, yep. He said, I only drove it about 4 or 5 miles, but, enough to know, that it's not doing it. And I'm like, okay, they better hope it didn't, or all hell is going to break loose. Because, like, this is just ridiculous. But anyway, so that's what ended up happening. So I told him, I said, I'll tell you what. And I said I was willing to either pay for the parts or split it down the middle, but like I said, the labor's only $50 more than the part. So, um, so I think that was fair. And like I said, because it is a car that's pushing 200,000 miles and almost 9 years old, um, I don't mind spending $200 to get, a new suspension practically. So that's worth it to me. But so it's ready. It'll be ready today. So that's a good thing at least. I was just completely shocked, and he again apologized. I'm so sorry that this happened. And I mean, like I said, I know they didn't do it on purpose. I know that, that mechanic, that even, it was an accident. He didn't wake up that day and be like, hey, I'm going to go to work and I'm going to break a couple cars. So, but I also wanted him to know because there was a lady that had an issue with it. He broke a lug nut after my car, and apparently she's dang near in the midst of threatening to sue him over, like, really a lug nut that they fixed, but whatever. And so that's why I wanted him to know, listen, I'm not going to be like the lug nut lady, and I'm not going to take, something and turn it into this big, crazy, massive fiasco. Um, I have way bigger fish to fry in my life and in my world these days, unfortunately, so it wasn't worth it for me to do that. And I'm not really hurting anybody but myself. But I just, no, you guys, I'm going to sue, blah, blah, blah. Like, yeah, especially over a lug nut. But, now, rack and pinion, that's another thing, a $2,000 job. $20 lug nut, suck it up, buttercup. Like, really, seriously, I wish that was all my problem. Like, oh, a lug nut, okay, $20. Hell, I paid more than $20 for the gas cap that we had to put on it. So, but anyway, so that's where things are sitting. So it looks like I'm going to get my car back today. And, yeah, then go clean it and wash it. So, but yeah, so I just thought I would update you guys on that. So, but yeah, other than that, I'll be back later. So, like I said, I got a lot of stuff I got to get done before I go to Tim's. But anyway, so, but I love you guys. And I got to call MD Anderson today. In fact, I'm probably fixing to do that right now. So I'll keep you posted on that.